Hello, dear student. How are you? I hope you all will be fine. I'm also fine. Thank you. Welcome to your AZ Science group. Today is lecture number 4 of non-aqueous solvents. Lecture number 4 of non-aqueous solvents. And today lecture we will be explain the second classification of the solvents. I started the classification of the solvents of first classification. I explained you in last previous two lectures, but in today lecture I will be explaining you the another classification, second classification of non-aqueous solvents, second classification of solvents, second classification of solvents. Yeah, in today lecture, in previous classification I told you that this classification was on the base of proton donating or proton accepting ability of the solvents, but in today lecture and today classification the classification will be on the base of the polar and non-polar nature of the solvents, polar and non-polar nature of the solvents. Polar and non-polar nature of the solvents. This classification gives us two types, that is number first, ionizing or ionic polar solvent and non-ionizing or non-polar solvents. First of all, ionizing, ionic or polar solvents. And the second is non-ionizing or non-polar solvents, non-ionizing or non-polar solvents. But I will be explain first what is ionizing, ionic or polar solvents. This classification, for example, first of all, when I write here the example of the ionizing polar solvents, after which you will be cleared all the points of that I will be writing. H2O, NH3, HF, etc. These all are the ionizing solvents or polar solvents. Ionizing solvents or polar solvent, these have high polarity. These have high polarity. These have high polarity and high dielectric constant value, high value of dielectric constant. High value of dielectric constant. Here you know that what is polarity here. Pole, where polarity means where pole can be formed, that is positive and negative pole. For example, in case of H2O water, where electronegativity of oxygen is very high as compared to hydrogen, so that's why that will withdraw the electron from the hydrogen. That's when, and we know that that withdrawing property will be get partial negative charge, while the another atom that lose the electron, that are losing electron, will be get partial positive charge. So these pole, positive and negative pole, are present. So that's why, and the ionizing, ionic or polar solvent that will have the capacity to high polarity, to create high polarity means the electronegativity difference between the atoms of the solvents will be very high. That is, hydrogen is almost 2.1 or 2.0, while oxygen is electronegativity about 3.5 or something. So that's why they have very high electronegativity difference. That's why that will have high polarity. But the another term is high value of dielectric constant. Or you know that what is dielectric constant? You can define the dielectric constant of any compound. It is the ability of the solvent that prevent ions. It is the ability of the solvent that prevent ions, of the solute, that prevent ions of the solute from the recombination, in the solution. Yeah, you can define dielectric constant. It prevents it is the ability of the solvent, it is the ability of the solvent that of the solutes, it is the ability of the solvent that prevent ions of the solute from the recombination in the solution. For example, when you add sodium chloride NaCl in aqueous solution in water, in aqueous solution, it will dissociate into Na plus plus Cl negative. This Cl negative will be surrounded by hydrogen, will be surrounded by water, while surrounded by aqua, but the positive pole of the water will be around, will be near, will be approaches to the chlorine center. So that's why they will solute, they will ionize, they will stabilize this chlorine ions or this anion. Also the negative part of the water will be towards sodium plus charge, so that's why they will get stabilized, and due to this stabilization, due to this solvation, the water will be prevents, the solvents will be prevents, this property will be prevents these ions of the solutes from the recombination, that sodium plus doesn't recombine with chlorine, and this property of the water is called dielectric constant, or you can say that this property of any solvent is called dielectric constant. So, and dielectric constant is vary from to different compounds. Dielectric constant, it is different for different solvents. Dielectric constant depend upon the nature of the solvents. It means it depend upon the nature of the solvents. Nature of the solvents. Yeah, it depend upon the nature of the solvents. I hope this point will be cleared. The another property of ionizing ionic or polar solvents is it will have, they dissolve ionic compound and initiate ionic reaction. It have the ability, capacity that they can dissolve ionic compounds and initiate ionic reaction. It will have the capacity to initiate only ionic reaction, not covalent reaction. It will have the capacity to initiate, to start the ionic reactions. They have this capability that they can undergo ionization. These solvents can undergo ionization process, or you can say that auto ionization. Yeah, auto ionization or self ionization. Auto ionization or self ionization. And in previous lecture I explained you with very detail that what is auto ionization or self ionization. The another property of polar solvents or ionizing ionic solvents is they can, polar solvents tend to associate due to dipole-dipole interaction. Polar solvents tend to associate due to the dipole-dipole interaction. Dipole-dipole interaction. Why dipole-dipole interaction will be present in the solvent, in the molecules of the solvents of polar solvents or ionizing solvents? Because here is pole present due to this pole formation. For example, in HF solvents where fluorine is electronegative, so that why they will get partial negative charge while hydrogen get partial positive charge because loss of electron, while fluorine withdraw the electron. And due to this pole, the dipole-dipole interaction will be present. This is the one HF molecule. This is one molecule of the solvent. This is the another molecule of the solvent, and this is the hydrogen positive charge that is the partial negative charge on fluorine, that is the partial positive charge on hydrogen. This hydrogen will have partial bonding with the, that will call also called hydrogen bonding, that will have partial bonding, that will have partial interaction with the fluorine atom. So that's why, and this interaction is due to the dipole interaction. Dipole mean where is two pole present, sir. So that's why here is interaction also present in these solvents, sir. This association or this interaction is more effective in case of protonic solvents, or you can say that in case of protic solvents, in case of polar solvents. In case of polar solvent where those contain hydrogen, because due to hydrogen bonding capacity, due to hydrogen bonding capability, the protonic solvent will have more association, the association due to the dipole interaction. And this, due to this reason, these solvent will have high boiling points. This solvent will have high boiling points. Due to this reason, it will have high point, and it will have the more liquid state range of the solvent. So the liquid state range means, for example, water is the freezing point of water or melting point of water. Melting point of water is 0 degree centigrade, while boiling point of water is 100 degree centigrade. Means below the melting point of water, water will be in a solid state, while after, or you can say that above the boiling point of water, water will be exist in a vapor state or in gaseous state. So it means that the liquid range of the water is from 0 centigrade to 100 degree centigrade. That is the liquid range of water. And this liquid range of any solvents, this liquid range of the ionizing, ionic or polar solvent, now I am just explaining you these solvents, that will have high range of this liquid, of the liquid of polar solvents. I hope this point will be cleared. Still, if you have any confusion, if you have any question, you can ask me in comment section, as well as you can ask me in my personal WhatsApp or Gmail that I put in description box. You can get from there anytime, every time. Okay, let's go to the next point, sir. That is, now I'm cleaning the board to proceed the topics. You can take screenshot or you can rewind the video. Okay, thank you. Now I will be explain the another example of another types of the this classification, that was ionizing, non-ionizing or non-polar solvents. That is second classification, non-ionizing, ionizing or non-polar solvents. This solvents, the example of this solvent is, for example, C6H6, CCl4, etc. These all are the non-polar solvents, where no polarity is present, sir. In CCl4 here is polarity present, sir. Chlorine, 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 chlorine. This chlorine have electronegative elements, about 3.5 electronegativity of chlorine, while carbon has electronegativity of 2.5, almost 2.5. This is already 3.5, means a high dipole, high polarity is present, more electronegativity difference is present here. But here in this case, the dipole moment is 0. Dipole moment is 0 because here is the dipole moment towards in this direction, there is dipole moment toward in this direction, here is dipole moment in this direction, here is dipole moment in this direction. So the net resultant of dipole moment is 0. So that's why that will have, that can consider as a non-polar solvent, that will be categorized in non-polar solvents. So I hope it will be clear. C6H6, the electronegativity of carbon and hydrogen are almost same. So hydrogen is 2.1 while carbon is 2.5. That is not enough difference. While these solvents have the capacity, this solvent will have the capacity to have low dipole moments. It will have low dipole moments. Low dipole moments. Show low dipole moment. Due to this dipole moments, it will show non-polar solvents. It will show non-polar characters. Also, it will have low dielectric constant. Low dielectric constants means all those solvents that are non-polar solvent, all those solvents that are non-polar in nature, they will have the capacity, that they will have the less capacity to prevent the ions of the solutes, ion of the solute from recombination. These solvents will have low capacity to prevent the ions of the solutes, from the recombination in solution, from recombination. Low prevention character. It will have low efficiency to prevent the ions of the solute from recombination in the solution. So that's why that, and you can also define the dielectric constant in this way. Yeah, I hope this point will be cleared. Another point is they can dissolve non-ionic covalent compounds and cannot initiate ionic reactions. They dissolve non-ionic solvents. Non-ionic, or you can say that covalent solvents, covalent compounds, and cannot initiate ionic reactions. These solvent will have non-ionic. It means that according to the one concept, like dissolve like, it follow like dissolve like, means polar solvent will be dissolved in polar solute. A polar solvent will be dissolved polar solute, while non-polar solvent will be dissolved non-polar solutes or non-ionic compounds. I hope this point will be clear. These are the second classification on the basis of polar and non-polar nature of solvents. Another third classification of the solvent concept is a third classification. Third classification of the solvents. Third classification of the solvent is on the basis of aqueous solvents. One will be called aqueous solvents, while another will be called non-aqueous solvents. Non-aqueous solvents. Aqueous solvents will be only water. Water will be only water will be considered as aqueous solvents. Only water, because aqua means water. Only water will be considered as aqueous solvent, while all solvents other than water, will be considered as non-aqueous solvents. For example of non-aqueous solvent, that is NH3, SO2, HF, C6H6. These all are non-aqueous solvents. Either they are polar or non-polar. Other than water solvents will be non-aqueous solvents, while only water will be considered as aqueous solvents. I hope this part will be clear. These are the classification of solvents. Still, if you have any confusion, if you have any question regarding the topics, you can ask me in comment section, as well as you can ask me in my personal or Gmail that I put in description box. You can get from there. Also, if you have any types, any kinds of question regarding chemistry, if you have any problem in any topic of the chemistry, you can ask me in comment section. I will be help you to clarify your problems, to solve your problems, to solve your problems. Okay, thank you very much. Very best of luck, my student. Very best of luck. God bless you.